The crack of his hand across my face echoed in the cramped coat room of the Cleveland Builders Union Hall. Local 512. Like a thunderclap in a confined space. I stumbled backward, my shoulder slamming into a rack of heavy work coats, the metallic tang of blood filling my mouth as I bit my tongue. Frank Dawson, my stepfather, towered over me, his face twisted in that familiar rage, veins bulging in his neck. At 55, he still had the brute strength from his days laying brick. But now, as the union's treasurer, he wielded it like a weapon in boardrooms and backrooms alike. "Sign the damn papers." "Emma," he snarled, shoving the clipboard at me again, his breath reeking of bourbon from the budget meeting's catered spread. "It's just a routine asset transfer. The pension fund needs your co-signature for approval. Family ties make it legit." I'd only come to the hall that night because Mom had begged me, her voice trembling over the phone earlier that day. "Show some support. Honey." Frank's presenting the annual report. It means the world to him. I was exhausted from a long shift at TechSecure, where I audited digital security protocols until my vision blurred, but guilt won out. Now, here I was, cornered in this fluorescent-lit tomb of musty jackets and forgotten hard hats, refusing to blind-sign documents that screamed red flags from my compliance training. "I'm not putting my name on anything without reviewing it first," I said, my voice steady despite the fear knotting my gut. Especially not something tied to the union's warehouse properties. His eyes narrowed, that cold calculation flickering behind the anger. "You think you're better than us, don't you? With your fancy degree and your corporate job in the city. But you're still Emma Thompson from the East Side. Still nothing without this family." The words stung, dredging up years of swallowed resentment since Mom married him when I was 14, turning our quiet home into a minefield of his moods and manipulations. I opened my mouth to fire back, but his backhand came swift and brutal, sending me reeling into the coats. Pain exploded in my jaw, stars dancing in my vision as I grabbed for stability. My fingers closed around a thick wool jacket, navy blue, embroidered with a subtle patch, Ohio Bureau of Labor Oversight, OBLO. Frank snatched his own coat from the rack in his fury, knocking several others to the floor, including the one I'd clutched. He paused, his chest heaving, then leaned in close. "You'll sign tomorrow, or I'll make sure everyone knows what an ungrateful bitch you are. Your mom included." With that, he stormed out, the door slamming behind him like a final punctuation. I slid to the floor, pressing my sleeve to my swelling lip, tears mixing with the blood. 10 minutes passed in that haze of shock and pain before I could stand. As I hung the fallen coats back up, my eyes caught something odd on the OBLO jacket, a small, mismatched button on the lapel, matte black, out of place. My training kicked in. I'd seen covert recording devices in security demos. If this was a Fed's jacket, left behind after infiltrating the meeting, had it captured everything? Frank's threats, the slap, his desperate push for that signature? The drive to my sister Lena's place in Lakewood took 20 minutes, but it felt eternal, every bump jolting fresh agony through my shoulder. Lena yanked the door open at my knock, her face paling at the sight of me. "Oh God. Emma. What did he do?" She pulled me inside, her arms wrapping around me like a shield. Lena had cut ties with our family 5 years ago after Frank shattered a vase against the wall during one of his tirades over her questioning his business trips. She'd built a life as a paralegal, free from the chaos. And now she was my anchor. "Sit," she commanded, fetching ice and antiseptic. As she cleaned my lip, her touch gentle, but her jaw set, she said, "This ends tonight. No more excuses. We're calling the cops." I wanted to protest, to cling to the fragile peace I'd maintained for Mom's sake. but the throbbing pain and the metallic taste silenced me. "Okay," I whispered. Lena dialed 911. And Officer Carla Ruiz arrived within the hour, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes and a calm demeanor. She documented everything, photos of the bruises blooming on my face and shoulder, a detailed account of the ambush, Frank's words about the warehouse loans. "Any witnesses?" she asked. "No one saw, but there might be a recording." I explained the OBLO jacket, the suspicious button. Ruiz nodded, jotting it down. "We've heard rumors of state investigators poking around union finances. I'll flag it for the detective." By the time Ruiz left, promising a follow-up, exhaustion crashed over me. But sleep wouldn't come. Lena and I sat on her couch, the city lights flickering outside, and I felt a shift, a spark of defiance igniting amid the fear. Frank had crossed a line, but in shoving me into that coat rack, he might have handed me the key to his undoing. As dawn crept in, I borrowed Lena's laptop and started digging into public records, my auditor's instincts taking over. What I found chilled me. Liens on union properties, forged co-signatures, including one that looked eerily like mine from an old lease. Frank wasn't just abusive, he was a thief, siphoning funds under the guise of restructuring. And if that microphone had caught it all, justice might finally catch up to him. The next morning hit like a freight train, my face a mottled canvas of purple and blue. But the real ache was deeper, the betrayal sinking in like poison. Lena brewed strong coffee while I stared at the printouts from last night's frantic search, county records showing Frank as the registered agent for half a dozen shell companies tied to local 512's assets. One stood out: the East Side Storage Depot, a union-owned warehouse supposedly for equipment, but now drowning in $300,000 of unexplained debt. "Look at this," I said to Lena, pointing at a loan document from Cleveland Trust Bank. My name was listed as co-borrower, the signature a perfect match to one I'd given Mom years ago for her car title. He forged it. And Mom, she must have known. The denial notice for another loan went to their house. Lena's eyes flashed with fury. "That's identity theft. Emma, we're not just dealing with assault anymore. This is federal-level fraud." My phone buzzed incessantly, texts from Mom pleading for me to come home and talk, voicemails from Frank growling about family loyalty. I saved them all, evidence piling up. By noon, Detective Marcus Hale called, a gruff voice with a Midwestern drawl. "MS. Thompson." Officer Ruiz briefed me. "Can you come down to the station? This sounds connected to ongoing investigations." At the precinct, Hale reviewed my statement, then leaned back. "That OBLO jacket? We contacted them. An agent confirmed it was theirs, left behind after observing the budget meeting. The button was a live mic, still transmitting when they retrieved it last night. They've got audio of the whole incident." Relief washed over me, mixed with a surge of vindication. The recording captured Frank's threats, the slap, even his muttered curses about covering the shortfalls before the feds dig deeper. Hale played a snippet. Frank's voice tinny but unmistakable. "The pension's hemorrhaging. But one more loan, and we're square." I felt sick. Local 512's pension fund was sacred, hard-earned money for retirees who'd broken their backs building Cleveland's skyline. Hale nodded. "OBLO's been watching Union statewide for embezzlement. Your stepdad's on their radar. With this, we can push for warrants." Back at Lena's, we dove deeper. Using her paralegal access, she pulled court filings, mechanics' liens against union members for work never done, judgments on debts they never owed. Frank had abused his treasurer role, accessing personal info to forge loans that funneled cash to his accounts. One bombshell, a $500,000 stabilization loan for the pension, signed by Frank, the president,
And me?
As assistant secretary. I never held any office. He's stolen $500,000, I whispered, the scale hitting me, and pinned it on us. Lena printed everything, organizing timelines. We take this to Hale tomorrow. But Emma, Mom's complicit. That denial letter proves she knew. The threat started that afternoon. My car, parked outside Lena's building, had its windows smashed, glass glittering on the asphalt like jagged stars. A note inside. Back off or next time it's you. We called Hale, who arrived with a forensics team. Intimidation tactics, he said grimly. Classic for white-collar crooks feeling the heat. As they processed the scene, my phone rang, Cleveland Trust's fraud department, responding to my anonymous tip. MS. Thompson. We need you in today. If these loans are fraudulent, we freeze them immediately. Hale escorted us to the bank, his unmarked car a shield against the growing paranoia. There, fraud manager Elena Vargas pored over the documents. This signature's lifted, pixel analysis confirms it. We'll void the loans and alert the FBI. By evening, accounts were frozen, but the victory felt hollow. Mom texted, Frank says you're destroying us. Please, Emma, think of the family. I showed Hale, who photographed it. Evidence of coercion. That night, as Lena and I barricaded in her apartment, the fear built slowly. A damning pressure. But beneath it, resolve hardened. Frank had built an empire on lies and violence. Now, we'd dismantle it brick by brick. Smoke curled under Lena's door at midnight, acrid and insistent, jolting us from uneasy sleep. We bolted upright, hearts pounding, as flames licked the welcome mat outside. Lena grabbed the extinguisher, blasting foam while I dialed 911, coughing against the fumes. Firefighters arrived swiftly, containing the blaze to the hallway. But the investigators' verdict was chilling. Arson. Gasoline poured in a deliberate F shape. For Frank. Maybe. Hale showed up minutes later, his face etched with concern. This is escalation. You're not safe here. Pack bags. I'm getting you to a safe house. We spent the night in a nondescript motel on the city's outskirts, guarded by a patrol car. But sleep evaded me. The flames replayed in my mind, a symbol of Frank's desperation. By morning, OBLO agent Derek Voss called. MS. Thompson. The mic caught more than the assault. Frank mentioned pension shortfalls. We're raiding local 512's offices today. Relief mingled with dread. This was snowballing into something massive. At the safe house, Lena and I reviewed our evidence stack, now thickened with bank statements Vargas had provided. Over $1 million siphoned. Identities stolen from 24 members, retirees facing ruined credit. Families on the brink. Frank's allies struck back subtly at first. Anonymous calls to my work, hinting at personal issues that got me sidelined on projects. Then, bolder, a brick through the safe house window at dawn, shattering glass and my nerves. Attached note, traitors burn. Hale upgraded our protection, but the psychological toll mounted. Mom's calls turned venomous. You're killing him. Emma. Is this revenge for your childhood tantrums? I played them for Voss, who nodded. She's involved, subpoena incoming. The union's emergency meeting loomed, called to address financial irregularities. Voss advised me to attend. Wired for safety. Your testimony could sway the board. Lena came too. Our united front against the storm. The hall buzzed with tension. Members whispering as Frank presided, his face a mask of false calm. Rumors of mismanagement are exaggerated, he boomed. I'm cooperating fully, but when I stood, the room hushed. He's lying, I said, voice trembling at first. then gaining strength. He's stolen from the pension. Forged signatures, including mine. I have proof. Chaos erupted, shouts. Denials. Frank lunged toward the podium, but Hale's officers restrained him. Voss played the recording over the speakers. The slap. The threats. Admissions of fraud. Gasps rippled through the crowd. One retiree, old Mr. Kowalski, stood shaking. My house lien. That was you. Frank's facade cracked. It was for the greater good. Investments tanked. I was fixing it. But the damage was done. The board voted to suspend him, pending investigation. As we left under escort, tires screeched Frank's truck, ramming our car in the lot. Metal crunched, airbags deploying. But we emerged bruised, not broken. Attempted vehicular assault, Hale muttered, cuffing Frank on the spot. The net was tightening, but the fear lingered. What lengths would he go to silence us? Handcuffs clicked around Frank's wrists in the Union parking lot. His face contorted in disbelief as Hale read him his rights. This is a setup, he bellowed, spittle flying. But the dashcam footage sealed it, his deliberate swerve into our vehicle. A final act of rage. Transported to county jail. He screamed threats down the hall. You'll pay for this. Emma. Family means everything. Lena and I, shaken but intact, gave statements at the station while Voss coordinated with the FBI. With the audio and this assault, we've got him on multiple felonies. But the fraud case is airtight, offshore accounts traced to his name. The following weeks blurred into a whirlwind of depositions and protection details. We relocated to a federal safe house in Columbus, away from Cleveland's prying eyes. Mom's subpoena arrived. She lawyered up, claiming ignorance. But emails surfaced showing she'd forwarded denial notices to Frank with notes like, handle this quietly. Betrayal cut deep. A slow bleed of lost illusions. Union members divided. Some rallied behind Frank, painting me as a vindictive stepdaughter. Others, victims themselves, sent anonymous support. One letter from a widow. He ruined my credit after my husband died. Thank you for speaking up. The preliminary hearing in federal court was a circus. Frank, in a rumpled suit, glared from the defense table as prosecutor Lena Ortiz laid out the charges: embezzlement, wire fraud, identity theft, assault. The judge denied bail, citing flight risk and the vehicular attack. Mom testified as a character witness, tears streaming. He's a good man, stressed by the job. But Ortiz's cross shredded her. You received fraud alerts in your daughter's name and did nothing? Mom faltered. I trusted him. The gallery murmured. Tides turning. Back in hiding. The pressure built. Nightmares of flames and fists. Doubts whispering I should have stayed silent. Lena anchored me. We're almost through. Think of the lives you're saving. Voss updated us. Raids uncovered ledgers showing $1.2 million diverted. Pensions teetering on collapse without intervention. My name appeared on 7 forgeries. Debts totaling $250,000. You're the linchpin, Voss said. Your courage cracked this wide open. The union's full board meeting, under federal oversight, became the battleground. Wired again. I faced a packed hall. President Harlan spoke first. Irregularities confirmed. Frank suspended. When I took the mic, emotions surged, slow build of pain, then explosive truth. He hit me because I wouldn't sign more lies. But that shove revealed everything. The recording played. Faces hardened. Mom burst in, uninvited. She's lying to destroy us. But evidence prevailed. Printouts distributed. Victims sharing stories. The board ousted Frank unanimously, initiating restitution. As we exited, a sense of fragile triumph emerged. shadowed by the trial ahead. The Cleveland federal courthouse loomed like judgment incarnate, its marble steps a gauntlet under gray skies. 3 months post-arrest, Frank's trial began. The gallery crammed with union folk, media, and ghosts of our fractured family. I took the stand in a crisp gray suit, heart-hammering but resolve steel. Prosecutor Ortiz guided me. Describe September 20th. I recounted the coat room ambush, the slap sting, the OBLO jacket's serendipitous mic. The audio played, Frank's violence echoing, jurors shifted uncomfortably. And the fraud, Ortiz pressed. I detailed discoveries, forgeries, stolen pensions, my ruined credit. Defense attorney Reed tried to dismantle me. Resentment toward your stepfather motivated this. Yes. No, I countered. Justice did. He stole from families, assaulted me when cornered. Mom's testimony was a dagger. Emma's always been dramatic, jealous. But Ortiz exposed her. You ignored fraud notices against your daughter? Mom crumbled. I didn't want to believe. The real blow, FBI agent Parks breakdown. $1.4 million embezzled. 32 victims. Funds laundered through warehouses. Without MS. Thompson. This continues. Frank erupted. She's a plant. Entrapment. But the jury saw the monster. Guilty on all counts after 4 hours. Sentencing, 25 years. Full restitution. Lifetime fiduciary ban. As marshals led him away, Frank's eyes met mine, defeated. Hollow. Mom hissed. Happy now, before vanishing into the crowd. Post-trial. Settlements rolled in, $148,000 in damages to me. Debts expunged. Credit fortified. I accepted Vasa's offer, joining OBLO as a fraud investigator. Relocating to D.C. With Lena. Our new apartment buzzed with purpose, no more shadows. A package arrived from Local 512, a Silver Union badge. Honorary lifetime membership. For saving us, the note read. My first case mirrored Frank's, spotting patterns in a Pittsburgh local. Preventing another theft. Evenings. I'd reflect. What drives a man to destroy those he claims to protect? Greed? Power? And enablers like Mom. What moral compromises justify silence? I hunt those answers now. Badge in hand. Ensuring no one else endures the coat room's terror. Justice hides in plain sight sometimes, a forgotten jacket, a brave stand. Reach for it. And you might just change everything. But the cost lingers. A quiet echo. Was freedom worth the family lost?